Welcome back, everybody. We are headed into our last panel of the day for day, I think it's day 3. So it's very appropriately named Overwatch 2 Meet Team India. So again, my name is Jennifer, and I will be your host for the next hour as we sit down with Team India, a competitive Overwatch 2 team who is participating in the Overwatch World Cup currently. So let's start off with some introductions. So can I get everyone on the team to kind of introduce yourselves and tell us either the origin story of your tag or your favorite video game? And for that, you actually cannot say Overwatch because that's not a fair answer.
Yeah, so I'm Shyam. I'm the general manager of Team India. My pronouns are he, him. And my favorite game outside of Overwatch is, I'd say, chess, if that counts. I really like playing chess, like whenever I get burnt out of Overwatch, but I'm very bad at it. And I guess the oranges of my gamer tag, I mean, my name is Shyam, so I name myself Shyam. Pretty easy.
My name is Nathan. I am the coach for Team India. Pronouns he, him. I would say my favorite game besides Overwatch, and probably, when I played when I was younger, is probably Age of Empires, like full time, like RTS, big into strategy. And yeah.
My name is Akash. My pronouns are he, him. My favorite game is Overwatch 1. Just kidding. It's Destiny. I really like Destiny. So it got me into FPS. That was my first FPS game. And how I got my gamer tag? Well, it all started when my mom met my dad. And then I was born.
Ah.
My name is Abbsxs. I'm the flexible for Team India. My favorite game is outside of Overwatch is Sonic Adventure 2. That's it's my like a childhood game. I played on the GameCube. It's like a single player game. How I got my nickname Abbsxs. Nobody could say my name in like school, from like secondary school to like nursery or whatever. So one of my friends just called me Abbsxs, and it's just stuck. So I used it as my gamer tag.
Hi, I'm Pummy. I play Hitscan. My favorite game outside of Overwatch all time would probably have to be like World of Warcraft. And I got my gamer tag by a nickname given to me by my mom when I was really young.
My name's Prash. My favorite game, probably outside of Overwatch, would be Ark currently. Since I've been playing a lot with my friends recently, but mainly just Call of Duty as well, since that's like my first kind of FPS tech shooter that I started on console. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. I'm actually surprised someone says Ark. That Are you ready for Ark 2?
Yes, indeed. I've already had wondrous adventures on the first one as it is. I'm such a noob at it, I'm not gonna lie.
Wonders.
That's okay, me too. All my friends do the work, and I'm the one sitting there like cutting wood and
Yeah,
getting
same.
all their resources. Yeah, we're the little farmers.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll start off with kind of the first question. So for all of you as pro gamers, I'm sure everyone is interested in hearing about what your journey has been like for you kind of to getting to this point, and then also for kind of forming together as a team.
Yeah, want to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I guess for me in my journey making it onto the Team India roster, so I mainly just started in tier 3, like barely just more than a year ago. And I just grinded through like just a regular path to pro scene with like a few teams. I've been on like OTP teams and like solid teams, flew out for a few lands till I had like my first contenders breakthrough last year. And I'm on a current contenders roster in EU called Purple Storm. And during the India World Cup trial phases, I was confident that I'd make it through into phase 2, since I had just the general confidence to just play for myself, since that's naturally what you're going to be doing, just showcasing your own performance. But when you're making it through past into like the later trials, you should also be showing more team skill development and that adaptability. Sorry, start on my words there. But yeah, that's just basically been kind of my journey into the Team India World Cup roster.
I guess I started back in 2020. I just played Overwatch for fun, had a lot of fun, got pretty good at it, and started to compete various tier 3 teams. But I guess I started taking competing more seriously over the last year and a half. Started playing in contenders, and then eventually the World Cup came up as a great opportunity and something to showcase my skill. So I was really excited for it and jumped towards it.
I'm pretty old, so I started Overwatch casually in like 2017, and then 2018 I got roped into a team. Made tier 3 until like 2019. I swapped roles, made contenders first time in like late 2019. Then I stopped playing, and then I got an offer to go to collegiate, so I came to America, and then from there I just started playing. Joined a contenders team that doesn't scrim. We played pretty well, and now I'm just doing collegiate, and then Team India happened, so now that's where I am.
For me, I've been playing competitively in Overwatch since like 2017. So like season 5 or something. I don't know, whenever it was. And then I played in contenders up until 2021 summer. So then after that, like for like a year, I didn't play the game at all. It was like a complete shift in my lifestyle. I was working as a non-clinical social worker, like working with kids and stuff. And then so I worked there for like about a year, and then I got COVID. So then I was at home for 2 weeks, and then I started playing Overwatch again. And Overwatch 2 was coming out. I was like, I was missing so much like flavor in my life and like mental stimulation from Overwatch and like the competitive scene. So I was like, I'm only gonna regret not trying. So then I just started playing every day and then streaming, and fell in love with the game again, and feel very good and really good mentally compared to where I was before. And then so past year back to the Overwatch grind, and now we're here, World Cup India.
So for me, I've been in Overwatch, I think, till 2017, maybe 2016. I started as a player, and fun fact, this guy right over here used to coach me. So now I'm coaching him, which is kind of ironic. But so yeah, he was a player, but I never got like super, super good because Overwatch is my first FPS coming from like an RTS game, and I'm not very mechanically inclined, but I'm like somewhat smart, I would say. So I realized that why don't I try coaching? And someone suggested, and I grinded coaching from like literally gold teams all the way up to like top contenders. And then when Team India was happening, talked to Shyam, and we both really wanted to do it. And yeah, that's sort of how I'm here.
And I guess to finish, I'm also like the other non-player on the team. So for me, I was a collegiate player a couple of years ago, graduated in 2020, and it was the middle of COVID. And I was like, kind of, what do I want to do? Do I want to keep going with Overwatch, or do I want to like focus on something else? A couple buddies of mine who were at my college were like, hey, let's start this like tier 3 team, and like let's just do it competitively in the open division. So I joined up with them, and I was really enjoying like stats and analysis in Overwatch. That was like how I got my like foot in the door. And there wasn't a lot of that at the time. So then I pretty quickly found myself onto like a contenders roster. And then from there, I was just like, grinding the path to pro like everyone else. But in terms of time investment, like to play the game versus like actually just coming home and like doing VOD review and like thinking about the game, it made a lot more sense because I'm also a little bit older. So I went for the coaching grind, and that was a lot of fun. And then the opportunity to be general manager of Team India was like really, really exciting. And I was so happy to like get the application, and then we ended up here. So I think it's been like a really crazy series of events, but that's kind of like my journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely really interesting to hear that, some of you came back to the scene, some of you were still in the scene, some of you kind of did a full circle around and said, we're going to land here. But it's really cool that you all come from kind of similar but also different backgrounds. Um, but before we get into kind of the more technical Overwatchy stuff, what has it been like for you guys coming together, being in person finally, living with each other and being in a city that's just, I think, generally unfamiliar to a lot of you?
I think we're having a blast, honestly. I think it was a lot of work to get to this point for sure. Between like figuring out where we're going to play our competitions from, where we're going to practice from, where the Airbnb was. Like, I mean, all of the logistics were crazy. And on top of that, I mean, we don't have any like sponsors necessarily, but yeah, also, I mean, I think all of us, like we all put a lot in to come here, both in terms of time, money, and work. I mean, just the effort. I mean, like the EU guys, Prash and Obbs, they flew like what 20 hours to get here. Yeah, the EU lot. So they, I mean, it's just been a lot. But to be in the communities that we're in and like to see the support from not only like social media but like everyone who we've interacted with like in person, it's like, well, we'll go to a gaming cafe and they've never heard of us, they don't even really care about Overwatch, but they're like, oh, you guys are like playing this tournament, like that's really cool, like let's see how we can help you. And that's just been the mindset that everyone has kind of taken. So it's been incredible. And I mean, the community support from everyone who is involved in Overwatch, who is like in the Vancouver surrounding area, has been so great. So really, like, no complaints at all. We're having probably one of the best experiences, like that we'll always like keep and cherish with us. And I think it's very emblematic of like what the whole Overwatch Cup program was supposed to be. Like, we're Team India, we're playing from Canada, and we're in like these different communities. It's just a lot of fun.
Mm. Yes, well, of course, Vancouver welcomes all of you, and it's good to know that you're having a good time here, and not just with the city, but with each other. And I think a lot of people end up missing out on the really personal connection that players have because all we see is them on screen and maybe sometimes them yelling at each other. Um, but okay, so looking kind of at Team India and some of the other World Cup teams historically, this year your team kind of stands out due to its international nature. So I guess how was the team put together, and like what does that process look like, if you know, and what were some of the challenges in creating your roster that you currently have?
Yeah, so I'll talk to that a bit. I think maybe Sean can give their perspective as well. But it was definitely a thorough process when like we were selected to the committee, Sean and I, and even Shine, our social lead. We really wanted to make sure that we really like looked at everyone, like everyone possible. And we wanted to make it as fair as possible too. I believe the regulations were everyone needed to have at least, well, people who made it through the tournament for selection needed to have at least 2 blocks, but we try to make it sure that everyone who trialed had at least 2 to 3 blocks for first phase. So everyone had a chance no matter what. We were thoroughly impressed, honestly, with the level of talent just in our trial process. I truly think, like, going back, because I helped previous Team India when the last World Cup was there, and the level of talent was a little bit less. And it's really cool to see, honestly, how much it's grown. And I think it's been like five, maybe like 4 years, maybe it's been a bit, but like in like the 4 years, it's grown insane. So it was really awesome to me. And basically what we ended up doing is we did a first trial phase, second, and then a third. A first trial phase was basically, I believe, like master players ish up. And then we did internal scrims with that. And then players we thought were coachable, mechanically gifted, had good positioning, game knowledge, communication. We moved on to the second phase. Second phase was more internals, but it was, just higher level players. And then from there, we took those players and started doing external scrims, just to make sure that the players would work well with each other. There was good communication, good natural synergy. It also gave us an idea of sort of where we what level we were at. So it gave us a good base idea of what our expectations were, and like were we meeting them. Sean, anything you want to add?
Um, Not really. I mean, yeah, we prided ourselves on how thorough we were, I'd say. And like there wasn't a single, I don't think there was a single person who was like just given, a free pass to get onto the roster. I think everyone really like had to go in and competitively like earn their spot on the team. And it's worked out really well because I think we've also stayed grounded kind of throughout our practice and kept that mindset of like, being a little bit more scrappy and just like always putting in the work. So I mean, we're in Vancouver, we're doing the boot camp, and it's just a testament to the rest of the guys that like the roster that we assembled like works really hard and wants to win really much, like a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely good to hear that. So I guess in terms of kind of the players you picked, so how do you balance kind of player skill and teamwork with a relatively, diverse and new roster to achieve the success you've currently had in the World Cup, but also kind of looking forward to facing some more difficult teams, we'll say.
Mm. I guess I'll start answering this one. So because it's the Overwatch World Cup, and obviously everyone has to be from like country of origin, we there's a more limited talent pool per se than maybe if you're building like an Overwatch league or if you're building a contenders roster. Like the whole point of the program is kind of there is the intentional limitation on every single country, and then you have to do the best you can from there. So in terms of like player size, I'd say there were a couple like standouts obviously on our roster. And there's also like maybe like a couple spots that were slightly more contested, but at the end of the day, I'd say the roster that we picked and the players that we run with are like by and large the best in their role, obviously. And it's not like there was like a lot of competition that really saturated the picks. But what really stands out is because of the nature of like having a little bit more limited of a talent pool that we can initially select from, it means we have to work that much harder if there are any issues that come up, or there's more incentive to work through it. I think if you're on like a contenders and Overwatch League roster, a lot of times, there's like an issue, let's just like find a player that's going to fit this a little better, or like let's work on, like it's easier to look at a replacement rather than like actual development. But I think because we are all this roster, we kind of knew going in these are like the 5-6 guys that we're going to be playing with right now. And so any problem we have to like find a way to work through it. And I think it really does a lot for like player development, but also just like team cohesion. Like as a group, we know that like we're all safe and like secure in like our roster, and this is like make or break. Like whatever happens, like this is who's going to be in the server. And so there's a lot of like friendship and camaraderie that develops like through that. Of like there's no incentive to like be mean to anybody. It's like let's all get better together and let's all improve and win as a team.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So like that's a good point, and there is no incentive for us to be mean. But I think like outside of anything, it just happens to be that we like all just like actually like each other.
Yeah.
Like even if we weren't on a team, like we happen to meet. Like there was some like me and Pummy were really good friends for a long time. But I think we just actually like each other. Like even if we weren't playing Overwatch, we'd still be friends. It just happens to be the platform that like brought us together. So that element of things like makes it a lot easier to work with people, because like even though we'll get angry, everyone knows that it's with good intentions, and we all have the same intention, which is to win. And it makes it a lot easier, and it's easier to put in the work when you care about the people that you're working with.
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely good to hear that you guys you're all friends. You're like your little tight knit family. So it's probably pretty easy to kind of stay motivated, improve, and constructively give each other criticism. Um, but we do have someone in chat asking, um, what would you eat as a team?
Oh.
It's just Korean food.
What is the name of the restaurant? Shout them out.
Yeah, so there's I think it's okay, Oz chicken,
Ozzy, yeah. Ozzy chicken.
Oz kitchen, or Oz, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's this. So we are boot camping right now from a facility called Net 8 Esports Arena, which is in Richmond. And right next to Net 8, like walking distance, is this incredible Korean place. Oz Korean cuisine in Richmond. It's fantastic. Some of the best noodles I think I've personally ever had. Really good kimchi fried rice. But we have this pre-match ritual at some point. Like we'll do a couple blocks, and then when we take a break, we all just head over to the Oz kitchen and we all get Korean food. It's great, and then we come play our matches and we're just like fueled by the power of kimchi. It's like fantastic. So we have an undefeated map record so far. So I mean, I think the Korean food is the real standout here.
It's the Korean buff, I guess.
Wait, we didn't mention is that Sham also cooks.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah, and he cooks really
He
good.
cooks really well, and like in large quantity. There was one day where like Sham left early to get groceries, and then it came back to the facility, brought us like water, and then he went back like at 2 hours early, and then started putting the chili together, and then came and picked the rest of us up. Then we came back, and then we all sat here in this same area watching stupid shit on the TV, and then he just like, cooked chili for all of us.
That was when we needed to open the can.
Aw.
Yeah.
Exactly, and then we needed to open the cans, and then we need like 3, 2,
Oh
1. Cans.
I saw that on Twitter. I was looking, I was like, oh boy. I hope you guys like takeout if this is the way you open cans.
Yeah. Well, the goal is, I mean, to keep costs down, right? And so, but it's also nice, like, I think finding those little moments for that, like, additional team bonding is just super valuable, right? If we spent all day while we're up here just focused on Overwatch, it would actually just have diminishing returns compared to us taking some time, resting up a little bit, and then like going hard after that. So I think we tried to be pretty intentional about structuring in our breaks and making sure that we have times. Like we bought like a football and we throw that around a bunch. And like we bought like a deck of cards. We've been playing Egyptian Rat Screw, which is a fantastic card game.
Don't leak that secret. That's our pre-match game. The night before, match day eve secret game.
Egyptian rats.
You're leaking
It's a
all
real game.
the games, the food. What's
Yeah.
next to leak? Um, but I guess since you guys all come from like various parts like within the world, what is your schedule like now? Because Overwatch is not very the World Cup schedule is not very friendly to you being in Canada.
I think I'll have Abbsxs answer this one because that boy loves to sleep. So
So our schedule is that we basically, well, I do, but I think 3 others of us do. We stay up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so that we sleep for like 7-8 hours, wake up at like 1 o'clock or like 12:30. So we actually can eat breakfast, have a shower, whatever, then go to the facility, scrim, and then we have like a warm-up scrim. And our game usually starts at either 10 or 11 PST. So that way, if we wake up late, then we'll have the energy to actually play the official. And yes, I'd like to sleep a lot.
Hey, sleep is good. I think we all need a little more sleep.
Yep.
But yeah, so the transition from Overwatch to Overwatch, the transition from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 was kind of jarring for a lot of players because they were not sure what's going on and the team size difference. So, as for the players, how has the transition been for you all as individuals kind of getting either back into Overwatch or just, I guess, relearning the same game but slightly different?
To me, it's always been about like what's fun, and I think the game is still fun. I think more fun personally, but I try not to think about the small details about like what Overwatch 1 was, because I think that can get you like caught up in the past. And it's all about how you adapt to the new game. Like it is what it is, and just try to make the best of the current game. And I'm having fun with it, so pretty happy with the change.
Well, for me, going from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, my most inferior hero transitioning into Overwatch 2 was Lucio because I'd never really had enough game time on him. And I played more of like the other supports. Like even I had more time on like other flex support heroes rather than like certain main support heroes like Lucio. So naturally, every Lucio OTP would be out superior to me, even when it comes to mechanics and general game sense. So that took a lot of time adjusting into. And naturally after every patch cycle there is like a 2-week period where I'm just completely lost and I don't know what is happening. And even in some of our scrims when one of the recent patches hit, it was not a fun experience. These guys are well aware of a certain word I use. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not. It's trust
Okay,
me. It's not
okay.
that bad. But it's just a coping mechanism.
Players near this public schools.
Yes. That's just.
But except you, Puppy, you're allowed.
But yeah, let's just say I'm not a fan of flanker heroes. I hate them, and I just despise their existence. Let's just say that. But maybe.
Personally, I love Overwatch 1 like more than Overwatch 2 because, oh yeah, freaking it's 6v6, so it just has a lot more it's a lot more complex. It's a lot more complex. There's a lot more strategy, and there's a lot more team play. You're taking away a player, so now it's gone from 6v6 to 5v5. So you're losing like your teammate, an integral part of the team. So all in all, like I just think Overwatch 1's better, but Overwatch 2 has its perks. It has its like beauty. I mean, it's more of a deathmatch now rather than like team play, but you still have like some parts of team play. So yeah.
It's a deathmatch where I'm playing the gladiator hero where I cannot die, but I can also kill everyone.
And you can also die.
But I can also die.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
But no, I think Overwatch 2 is not really. I mean, I guess it's a sequel just because they removed a player, which, like Ab said, is a big integral part of the game. One of the biggest things about that's like really important is that you're losing like a teammate, but you're also losing a brain. So like people are more responsible for different things now, and that's like a really underrated aspect of the game. Like you can't. It's really hard to like if one player was slacking in Overwatch 1, you had more like leeway to get away with it. But everyone has to be on their toes and like really contribute as far as like comms and like planning and all of that. For me though, like as a tank player, I no longer have my off tank player throwing. There's no CC. There's more heroes for me to play. They changed the hero from a different role that I can play now, which is very good hero, right, Natter? Doomfist?
Yeah.
Natter thinks it's
Totally disagree, by the way.
good. No, that's not what he was saying in VOD review, but no, yeah, but Overwatch 2, like I'm very, 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 very happy with all the changes, and I really like push. People hate push. My favorite thing about push is that fights can happen in different parts of the map that aren't necessarily aligned with the objective. And I think that makes it for very unique gameplay. And once people understand that, because the issue that one for a lot of lower ranked people, and like this in related to Overwatch 2, is people hate push because they think they just play like payload and we follow the bot, and they're like, oh, they have a respawn advantage, or like they're just doing this and like we can never get ahead. But the whole you're incentivized to take fights in different parts of the map based on the context, and that makes it really interesting to me. But yeah, no, I love Overwatch 2. I'm really excited with the direction in the game. Like, a lot of people are very pessimistic when it comes to like their outlook on the game, and Blizzard does make a lot of mistakes. But I think something to say about the game recently is right now I feel like the game is pretty good balance-wise, and it's really fun to play. Like every patch that's been out so far, sometimes it gets older a little bit like sooner than others, but every Overwatch 2 patch has been really fun to play. There hasn't been a patch where I'm like, damn, this patch sucks. But yeah, I mean, no, I love Overwatch 2. There's a reason there's a reason I'm doing this. This is the only thing I'm doing in my life right now that's like relevant. Like I just wake up, go to the gym, and play Overwatch, and eat food, and then play Overwatch and play Overwatch.
Yeah, so I would say Overwatch 1 versus Overwatch 2, the biggest thing for me from like a strategic aspect is I really think it's really, you can see more shine out of DPS players and tank players, because tank players essentially now have to, like, as Akash said, have the ability to actually just like kill people themselves, but also have the responsibility of like holding space by themselves and not getting completely blown up. And DPS players have to, which is very new, is they have to create space for tanks. Before, tanks would just create space for everybody, and the fact now that DPS players have to create space
like
for
Kiriko.
tanks, and even like a hero like Kiriko who will flank and like split focus. And I think that's a really interesting concept, and it's really cool to see how people have sort of adapted to that and to get that sort of mindset and play style. And yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. It's a lot more fast paced because of it. And I think the other thing that someone said, which is really cool, and I agree with, is like one less person means a lot of other people have to speak up and think more, and people have to like be more responsible, and like people have to calm, people have to like shot call, and losing one person is like, it's a really, really big change. But it also means that you have to track one less person, which also makes it a little bit easier at the same time. But yeah.
I think the only thing I'll add too is like with Overwatch 2, like Akash was mentioning, like there's one less brain. And I think generally like individual players have a lot more impact on the game, and it means they have to do like a lot more. But also like from the coaching perspective, sometimes that means that like a lot of the really intricate like team synergies that you could find in like Overwatch 1 with the 6v6 are a little bit less. Like, I mean, we see in Overwatch League, like last season, you know, it was like proper go kill. This season it's a little bit like lip go kill, and it's like a little bit less interactive from like a coaching perspective to watch that, but there's still a lot of like really like cool stuff that you can find. But it just means that like as a coach you have to work a little bit like that much harder to make sure that like everyone is figuring it out, even if the overall strategy is a little bit simpler.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I 100% agree with everything Shyam's saying. And like the biggest thing in Overwatch 2 that's like really different is a lot of times like in Overwatch 1, especially at the highest level, you got caught up with like, okay, if we're playing this situation properly and like everyone's in their position, you know, holding the right angles, we playing the right ultimates, using their cooldowns properly. But in Overwatch 2, like proper could shoot your head off with a railgun and then the game is over, right? So like it's more of an FPS game, and it's faster, and it's a lot like Team Deathmatch, more like Team Deathmatch, because people do have that solo carry potential, which I think is more entertaining to watch and for the players, but can be frustrating because it's like you could be doing everything right, but then, you know, one headshot and then the game is completely different. It could be a Kiriko on the flank, hit 2 headshots, the game is over, right? So
yeah, I just wanted to add, like from a support perspective, like Overwatch 1 at the higher end of like the competitive skill skill ladder, you wouldn't just heal bot, you'd actually do a lot more. You'd deal damage, you would call like rotations, you'd even go into the front line if you need to at some points. And with Overwatch 2, it's kind of forced it upon you that that is your role. Like, you're not just a heal bot now, you're a support player. You can make plays, you need to make plays, otherwise
don't play Mercy.
Okay, I won't play Mercy. But you need to make plays when you play support now. So, I mean, in Overwatch 1, I used on 2CP, I literally, if we lost the first point, I would walk into their spawn and I would do trade as Anna. I would literally walk into their spawn, find a DPS player, and I would kill them. And I would die with it, and there's no repercussions because you get fast spawn. but there's no 2CP now, so that sucks.
Bring 2CP back. Okay, so what role does well, what role does the support and engagement of the Indian Overwatch 2 community play in your team's journey, and kind of have you felt that support from them?
Anyone want to tackle this?
Yes.
Okay.
So honestly, the biggest support we get is from Shine and all of Shine's fans. Like we go to Shine's chat, like anyone says something, oh my god, real Pummy, real Kosh, real Abbsxs, right? So Shine has done a lot as far as he's like our gateway bridge, the bridge to Terabithia of between us lot and the Indian audience. And a lot of them we're getting a lot of support, especially in the chat, in the Twitch chat, and then on Twitter, of course. And I really think that it is an honor to represent India, and we will try to do that the best we can. And I hope to expand upon like how we interact with the Indian audience, because esports in general is like growing in India, and I think it's very positive. It's a very positive like mental outlet for kids. There's a lot of brilliant minds in India, of course. So Overwatch scene, like to integrate with them, I think it's been awesome. Like just meeting everyone, like new people on the side who will message me, and I'll have conversation with them. And then even within our team, DT has a lot of teammates and stuff. So it's been cool, and I definitely feel like we're well supported, and it's not like we're proud. We're all proud to be representing India, and we definitely like appreciate everyone that's like supporting us. Yeah.
And I mean, to address the elephant in the room, obviously, like we all are like currently in Vancouver, and we're like non-resident Indian. And I think there was a little bit initially of people saying like, oh, like we wish there were more people of like direct Indian origin who were like on the team. But like as time has gone on, I think the support is only really growing. And like our goal always was to build the strongest competitive roster that we could for Team India. And it just so happened that like the group of players that we have now are non-residents. I don't think it was.
But DT is dirty though.
DT is incredible.
Yeah,
DT is fantastic. I think we're waiting for like those opportunities, especially when we're on land, to really utilize like the full strength of our roster. But no, I mean, so the overall point is like the support is only growing, and like our goal was to build that competitive roster. And I think right now the results are kind of speaking for themselves, and that we're playing really, really well. And so I'm just very happy with like all the choices we've made to get to this point. And I think the support is only growing from here on out.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have the support, that your supporters are also drowning out some of the haters. That's always a super nice feeling, kind of a good indicator as
One more
well.
thing. So
Oh
I've been
yeah,
getting
there
a
you go.
lot of DMs
Oh,
on Twitter, Discord, and everyone's like, "What is Back the Blues?" Right? So I didn't know, so I googled it, and everyone was like, "Wait, is this had something to do with the police or like?" So we get a lot of like weird looks at our hashtag Back the Blues, but it's regarding the Indian national cricket team, right? So yeah, Back the Blues. I just want to clarify that a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, and we just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. So just thought I'd add that.
Okay, well, thank you for that clarification. Anyone out there, if you had a question, well, that's the answer to it. Um, but yeah, you guys have been looking really, really well in your games, and um, is there a team or a match that you're particularly looking forward to?
Thailand. I think I can say with confidence, I think we're all really looking forward to Thailand, because I don't think we were expecting them to be as good as they are. And from like a coaching perspective, it's really clear that they are really clean with their gameplay.
Can we get a PC check on Ace?
like, like Ace is absolutely insane. Like mechanically, he just pops off. Like it's insane. And I think like from strategic, like their positioning is just really good. I'm not sure what Tia Watt's been doing, their coach, but who is an ex Owl, maybe ex Owl player. I know he was ex Academy player, but yeah. So definitely looking forward to that match. Our first match coming up is Australia, and that'll also be a tough team as well. They're pretty much all contender players, and then their tank players and Owl player, and they're coached by Owl staff. So that'll definitely be a tough match. We're looking forward to it. We got a lot of work to do, and I think if we work hard, we accomplish our goals. I think we can definitely win.
Hey man, don't worry. We're also coached by Owl staff.
I'm not technically an Owl staff, but yeah. But yeah. Anyone else want to add?
But he stays up at night and watches us in our sleep.
What?
I definitely do not do that.
Like an hour.
I definitely- I am probably actually Sham is probably the first person to go to sleep. Then probably Iron Man, then me, because we have to work. But yeah.
Yeah, and the reason Iron Man's downstairs. The reason he's not on the panel is like a couple of us. Like I'm still actually like working on like my EST work schedule. Iron Man is also working on his EST work schedule. So technically, like we're in meeting time right now. But I mean, there's just a lot of personal sacrifice from basically everyone on the team to have been here and to be doing it. So we're trying to just do our best to like honor that and win for each other.
Actually, do your workplaces know you're doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Maybe not all of them.
Oh.
Yeah. No, mine definitely does, and like they're all like super happy, and they're like all been wanting to watch the streams and stuff, and they're all really happy. Even though I work at Riot, and like obviously it's like Valorant and League and stuff, and Overwatch is definitely the competitor, but they've been pretty supportive, which is really awesome. So.
Oh, that's good to hear that you, at least for the ones who their companies know they're doing this, that you guys have the support and they allow you to kind of pursue this for the couple months that you're involved and as well as continue working. Okay, so we're gonna kind of change gears, take it somewhere a little bit lighter. We have another question from Juicy McBooty. It says it's an essential question. Favorite animes? If you guys are anime watchers, I don't know.
I gotta think. See, I'm a normie.
Yeah, I'm a normie too. I'm gonna get the paper.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna go with the original since Attack on Titan was what hooked me in. But I mean that it's the normal recommended to go to. But I'm probably gonna go with Haikyuu since it's like summer vibes right now, and I really enjoy watching sports anime. I do want to get onto Blue Lock, which I haven't watched yet, but I haven't watched Blue Lock.
Yeah, we're watching it tonight. I didn't know.
That's what I was saying. You should watch it.
But no, Haikyuu just gives me like good vibes, and I just enjoy Haikyuu because of it. But yeah.
For me, I don't watch anime, so I don't have an answer for this.
Yeah, I mean, I read manga, so I think Hajime no Ippo, which is like a boxing manga, I really enjoy that one. So yeah.
I'm an anime binge watcher, so I don't watch it a lot or consistently, but when I watch it, I watch all of it. But my first ever anime I watched was Death Note, and my absolute masterpiece. My other favorites are Black Clover.
Yes.
Really, really enjoyed. Just watched the movie that just came out. It was awesome. And then other than that, I really enjoy Food Wars because people are like, "Oh my god!" Like they take their clothes off when they eat, and the food is whatever. There's food. I like food. I'm a very fat individual. So I like the food in the anime, but really the character development is what drives it home for me, and the dynamic between the friends and the character development. Yeah.
The plot.
How they
in it.
develop their food.
Oh,
Yeah. No, but I really enjoy Food Wars. I'm trying to think. There's another anime that I really. Oh, I started watching Rising of the Shield Hero. I really like more fantasy elements of like leveling up and getting strong. But I also really like sports anime like Prosh said because a lot of it can relate to Overwatch and like learn a lot of lessons. There's a lot of valuable lessons I've learned in anime where I can relate to like situations where if you have a conflict with a teammate or you're facing a difficult opponent where it feels like the way it's like personified in haiku about like there's like a stone wall, but
The
like
Iron Wall.
whatever. Yeah, the iron
The
wall.
Iron
It's like
Wall.
it can feel like that. It can feel like that when you're playing against like a really good team. But yeah, so I do agree with what Prosh said. Sports animes when I started watching Blue Lock, but I'll pass it on to Natter.
Yeah, I also like a lot of anime. I love sports anime like Prince of Tennis, Blue Lock, the basketball one I can't remember its name. Like there's so many. Yeah, Kurano no Basket, Captain Tusaba. Like there's just so many. But I would probably say I'm a normie. Like also One Piece. I've been watching that since I was in high school. So I can't like not say I don't like that. And then there's just a bunch of others too. But I'm also the type of person that like when I start watching it, I binge it and then I catch up fully, and then I'm like, I want to know what happens next. Then I go read the manga, and then like I'll read the manga, and then I'll sort of forget about it.
And then you read the fan.
Yeah, I don't read the fan fiction.
Read the fan fiction.
I do not.
Yeah.
I do not write the fan fiction. But yeah, then I'll like later, 2 weeks or 2 months later, I'll just go back and I'll catch up again. But yeah.
I am basic. I only watch one anime. It's Attack on Titan. and it's great.
I
So
haven't even seen that anime.
yeah, I hey, what,
No,
Prash, why are you mad at me, bro? It's incredible. What do you mean? What? Okay.
You just did it yourself.
What's wrong with being basic? It just means that it's popular, that it's usually good, critically
Okay, at least
acclaimed,
no one said
well
My
reviewed.
Hero Academia. Can I just say My Hero Academia is like literally the worst anime that's ever.
I disagree.
It's
It's not that bad.
Okay, it's not that bad. Okay.
Okay,
the
but
main-
like
the
SAO.
main character is such a bitch. Like they could have made his character so good, but then they just gave him like he just cries all the time. That's his character. And maybe he develops and it stops crying as much.
He does.
Yeah, but
does.
why did they just give him the best power? Like the whole thing was like, okay, this kid has no quirk and he's gonna put in the work and the effort. You know, he's in a world like
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
no, but he's not. Then they just give him the best superpower in the world, and it's like
Yeah, but
But he has to own it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has to
whatever,
own it.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Clearly,
He doesn't deserve it.
it.
No, you know why I haven't watched it? Because he doesn't deserve that power. I deserve the All Might power. I deserve the All Might power, not him. But yeah, I'm a Deku hater. But at least no one said that.
So this panel has made kind of a little clear that I need to give my team some media training. So if any sponsors are watching this, I really hope you're not, and we will figure it out later on.
They're still learning, future sponsors. It's okay. Sorry. I lost my train of thought on this one.
A little bit. I feel like the anime question gets a little heated, but we're all.
It always does. I think they're for at least My Hero. There's either I like it or I hate it. There's like never anyone in the middle.
Okay, there's good moments. I just don't like Deku, but like the one guy that has like rocket legs, I like him. And then I also like Todoroki,
Mm.
Fire and Ice. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, my dad is really mean, and my mom is really cool.
My dad is mean.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how his dad's a superhero though. It's kind of chill.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go a couple more questions and then we'll hop into some Ranked. But Lusty Overwatch asks, can Prash share his morning hair routine? I'm trying to be like him.
I don't understand. It's like, okay, so I'll keep it short and I won't like be long with this.
He's gonna be long.
I naturally have long hair. I tried to comb it and keep it up. I was like, I can't be asked of it anymore. So I was just like, let me just, I legit CBA. I'm just gonna let it like just hang, like let it be messy. Like I just only put water in my hair. That's it.
Water.
Can you? No, I'm not. But no, I just rinse my hair of water. I don't want to say anymore. No.
Say that.
You violate. No,
Water.
No,
Water.
No,
Water.
no. But yeah, no, I don't really put anything in my hair. I just leave it curly. Yeah, that's it. No, it's just natural.
Okay.
He's a natty. Not tough.
Okay, this is kind of a weird question. Juicy asking, can you say bottle of water for us?
Fire. Whoa. It's going. No, come back. Hey, wait. Can you give me a bottle of water? Can you give me a bottle of water?
And I can say it. I'm from the UK, but I don't have the
Yeah, just
typical
say it,
UK.
just say it.
Bottle of water. There you
No,
go.
it's because of my thick accent. That's why.
I'm sorry, bro.
Wait, you have an accent?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad to see that you're all friends still. It's all good and fun. Okay, so last question. Actually, second to last question. Question I have: who is your most loved and your most hated Overwatch hero?
Sombra. Most hated. Most loved. I'm gonna think. I actually don't know. Probably just anyone that can just help me in a mid fight. Pretty much. That's it. Is anyone that can help me or kill me?
This is a fair answer.
I guess my most loved hero is Sombra. Yeah, and then I really dislike Roadhog, so I'm glad he's really bad right now.
And really fat.
I have trauma from years in playing Pharah for like 3 years in ladder, so I don't like Pharah, and I really like Anna. It's my favorite character.
So far as mom.
Oh no, I didn't think about that.
Oh. Don't hate the character, hate the creator.
Oh, who's that?
Anna.
Oh no.
That's my favorite.
Okay, my favorite character is Winston, but actually, okay, my favorite character is Winston, this will protect us. But my favorite hero to play is equally Winston and Doomfist. Both are just extremely stimulating, and Doomfist is like literally you have to hyper focus at every given moment, and there's literally not a single moment, even if you're staring at a wall where there's not something to think about. So it's very, very like stimulating for me. My least favorite hero, I'm very public about this, and it's not because of the players, it's because of the hero, is Mercy. Mercy is absolutely useless hero. The only thing that's good about Mercy is rezzing and damage boost is okay, whatever. But like Ab said previously, in Overwatch 2, where everyone else you need to impact the game and do damage, having a character that doesn't provide damage individually, like by themselves, is very, very bad. I hate Mercy. I hate playing against Mercy because there's some Mercy players who they like fly everywhere, and it's like very, very cancer. Or you just like you spend a lot of resources to get one kill, and then like their Mercy's playing hide and seek, like, and then just comes out and reses someone. It's like, oh, okay, like now Proper is alive again, and my whole team is gonna die again. So no one likes Mercy as a character. I mean, sorry, no one. I don't like Mercy, but in my head, I guess I'm everyone. But I don't like Mercy. But Mercy is also, I don't like her.
Okay, wait, but Mercy or Lifeweaver?
Lifeweaver.
Mercy.
Easy Lifeweaver. I'd rather have a Lifeweaver on my team because I know the Lifeweaver player is trolling and having fun. It's probably like Bacon on my team.
Lifeweaver is like a true utility character.
Yes. So I
Like
talk about
like Mercy's like a half utility character. Lifeweaver, you have a petal, you have life grip, you have Tree of Life, which is I think is better than Valk. It just has like a HP, but like that's a true utility character.
A couple of patches, you're gonna see Abbsxs Lifeweaver's been cooking. He's been playing in a lot of streamers' games.
It's a troll.
Oh, it's not.
Bro, you get if you just
Your Lifeweaver.
Yeah, but if you put no, just pocket the owl player and you're good.
Yeah,
like, what are you
Lifeweaver.
doing Lifeweaver?
You can life grip me when I pin in their team.
That is true, but like, just don't pin in like that, innit?
No.
Okay, I'm just
The slingshot
Okay.
tech.
To go back on track. Favorite hero probably Honor's End because that's what heroes I love playing. I don't really think I have like a hero I dislike.
He doesn't like Mercy.
I actually also do not like Mercy, mainly just because I can't play Mercy for I don't know what reason. I just
Oh, I also can't play Mercy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't include that part.
like I don't know why. I literally can't play Mercy. My partner plays Mercy like a shit ton. I just can't play it. I can't coach. I mean, I can coach Mercy, but I just do not enjoy. It's like the one here I also do not enjoy coaching. And yeah.
For me, I really like Baptiste just because you can hit flow state so easily in terms of micro on that hero. You can just be like M1, M2, like jumping around. Like it's just really entertaining. Yeah, and you can always be doing something, and your skill on Baptiste is just tied to how much you can do. You know, like very much so. And every single comp that I feel like he is played in like has interactivity to it generally, or like there's there's some form of like fun in the meta to be had whenever Baptiste is played.
Honestly, like Overwatch 2 BAP is really balanced.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Okay, he's not balanced at all. He's not balanced at all. He's super broken. But the way they've shifted the focus of the character to like his output, not the immortality field, because it's a weaker ability when you don't have two tanks.
So they buffed it.
Well, they buffed it because it's like not the focus anymore. But it is really strong still. But it's not the focus of the character. The focus of the character is the M1.
I think we should go back to how he's not balanced. He's broken.
No, he's actually like he needs buff.
Okay.
He needs
Okay.
buff.
Moving on.
But my I think my least favorite hero is actually Lifeweaver, as it's come out. Not necessarily because Lifeweaver is bad, but I think I think that too. But I mean, even more so on current patch, like if someone picks Lifeweaver, I don't think it's like an objective throw right now. But I don't like his design and that it's very clunky. And I also think that the approach that they're taking with like stacking characters with more utility makes it just inherently harder to balance them. Like if you look at a hero like Moira, like if Moira was ever OP, it was either because she was like too survivable in the current meta, or she was like the only support that had any survivability, or like her damage was just a little too much, and then they like undertuned her damage or their healing numbers, and she's fixed, and she's like fine again.
Just look at Winston and Tracer, like the most notoriously balanced heroes, like just very, very simple kits.
Yeah.
Even like Lucio is like simple.
Even like Soldier 76, like you can just like fine tune Soldier, and like even like Genji, like they'll change his reload or their damage, like they make the same buff and nerf like at any point, and it just like adjusts his position in the meta, and that's like really, really good. But like with Life Weaver, if they like overtune his life grip or something, or they like make his pedal platform too good, like it suddenly he's like giga broken, and then it's almost impossible to like do anything. And then like they make a simple change, and then he's like horrible again. So I think that design philosophy where they like stack a character with utility just makes it that much harder to really make the game like balanced and have still a lot of variety. So not a big fan of it, and I think it's going to be pretty symptomatically bad in the future.
Not as bad as Mercy.
I think I agree with that probably. Yeah.
Permanent Mercy hater. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears once again, and play a couple. I think it's 3 clips a day of Ranked.
I'm saying flat.
I'm saying plat.
I think
I'm
diamond.
saying flat.
I think it's
Alright.
done.
Natter, Shop. Me too.
I think flat.
No, because if this was higher, that Ryan would have just yeeted it. Let's be
I
honest.
think low diamond, high flat.
Yeah, I think we're all in the Grandmaster.
Oh, you.
No, no. way. See, these suck because like
we have to realize also there's like inflation.
yeah, there's so much inflation.
Somehow
Okay, so
I
let's-
am Master of One
Yeah.
right now.
This one is Grandmaster, right? From
No,
that logic.
let's just see it. We add inflation on.
Okay, let's do what we think it is and add like 2 ranks up.
Okay.
No, 4.
4.
Four. Like the number you mean, right? Like not the actual.
No, 4 ranks.
No.
No,
Alright, let's play the second one.
We should have just done this before and cheated.
So Diva Sim, he's just hunting the brig there.
Okay, that's good. Man.
Oh,
Four
yeah.
seconds, so it has to, they chase it. Yeah, we know that.
Nah, wait.
Yeah. It has to be masters and below.
No, the coordination is very good. Top 500. Let's go.
Wait, was this just a clip?
Yeah,
No, there's gonna be a diva bomb.
What's the point of the clip?
There's gonna be a diva bomb. Diva bomb, Babu.
Diva bomb against a Sim Shield and a
Oh
Rock
wait,
Shield.
Sim TP Diva Bomb.
Yes. Oh.
Wait,
Oh, it's gonna be Goose Squish.
Honestly,
Diamond.
Okay, I'm thinking diamond, but because of inflation, top 500.
No, it has to be okay.
You can't.
No, in
Bro, this is inflation.
it's diamond because like the most. If you're like somewhat serious about Overwatch, you know, like that's like the rank where you start playing with your
Flew and
friends.
did damage and then
Exactly.
went to the
No, they
Exactly.
chased the brig as well.
Yeah.
3
It's
people.
3 people chase it, so I think it's
Diamond
diamond.
or
It has to be diamond.
No, it's top 500.
Gosh, it can't be top 500.
Watch me plat.
I think Low Masters because the actual flick up that they did before they Diva bombed was pretty good.
Diamond.
It's gonna be plat. I think it's gonna be plat.
Submit it.
Hell, go first.
Diamond, let's go. Let's go.
It's pretty close.
They were 4 stacking.
Alright, so this is your last one.
We've got 1 star. Oh.
Okay, Junker Queen Orisa, this is already minimum low.
I've been playing Moira.
Hey,
These are the two of the most popular tanks in low rank because they just don't die and do a bunch of damage.
He missed his wall climb.
He's just wandering around.
Okay,
this is just gold.
This has to be pretty low.
This has to be gold or silver.
Again, that's what happened in the first
I mean, also, the dude's just playing in open space. He's barely playing high ground. He's just walking in.
Okay, but it's aiming.
Wait, I think it's gold.
Yeah,
I think
It's
it's
gold.
gold.
I think it's gold. I think it's gold. This is literally just gold. This is literally just gold.
Okay, sounds like the
No, it's
consensus.
gold. Gold. I'm so confident it's gold. Let's go, baby!
Yeah,
Oh.
nice. All right, so that was kind of fun. We also got to see a little bit of what went on in everyone's brains on all of that. Um, but is there any kind of last words, advice you would like to give to, say, especially younger, even older individuals looking to be in the Overwatch competitive scene?
Our video might have died. One sec. Shyam's looking into it,
Oh.
but I definitely got something for this.
All right, we'll give you guys a couple seconds here.
Yeah, can you give a second? I'll just talk and while we're trying to fix it. But
It says the director has muted us.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me?
No, like
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's fine. So, I as someone who I think really spent a lot of time in Overwatch, and I was also pursuing Overwatch in college. I highly suggest trying to get into collegiate. I think collegiate is the absolute future of esports. I think it is the best option. I went to a pretty prestigious computer science school, and during my final year, I had the option of maybe going to Overwatch League or finishing my degree, and I had a lot of pressure from my family to finish my degree. I ended up choosing to finish my degree, and then luckily, I went to the job, and then from there, I got a job actually in games. And I'm really lucky that I was able to combine my profession, which is computer security, and my passion, which is games, sort of together. And my big thing I would say to younger audiences is don't give up on gaming. Note that it should not be the only thing you really focus on. You should always have a backup option because esports is unfortunately not really stable and it's really risky. But you should have that passion, and you should really pursue it. And going into collegiate and doing getting your degree plus trying to do it is really, really, really good. And the skills that you grow from esports and teams is lifelong. In my interview process, also my job, the amount of times I used the team examples that I had in my my job interview for Riot was just I used them for almost every single behavioral question I had because I had situations where a player would leave maybe 5 days before an official, and then how would I solve that? That's very relatable to an actual company where you could have a person who leaves gets fired and then have to finish a deadline or someone's sick. So esports is not just about games, but it's also about how you work as a team and how you solve problems, and that is a lifelong skill and it's super useful.
And I'll absolutely echo that. After my college graduation, I actually worked as a tech recruiter for a short amount of time. And one of the biggest things that I would tell anyone with an esports background is think about everything that you've done and worked on and all the hours that you've spent, and think about how it transfers to any life skill that you need, right? While we're up here, it's all communication, collaboration, working across differences, leadership development, solving difficult problems.
How to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, all of the things even basic project planning things of even when you're planning a team fight, you go through all the steps, right? You have to think about it very logically. There's so many very easy correlations, and employers love seeing people who are competitive or strive to be the best at something, no matter what that was. And if you can talk passionately about it and you can convert anything that you're doing, it's just really, I mean, it's literally free to get into wherever you want to get to. So for anyone who is pursuing anything like this, or pursuing the gaming thing at all, find ways to translate any of those experiences to your real world practice.
I have a lot to add to this because for me, I was in collegiate and all of that, and I was in school. I spent most of my time just playing Overwatch. And looking back, if I were to optimize what I was doing, based on agreeing with what Natter said, I do think collegiate is the future of esports, and is the place to be. But for those of the people because I worked with a lot of kids at my previous job, who were just oh, I'm gonna play Fortnite after school. I'm gonna become a pro gamer like Ninja, right? It's not that simple. And the biggest thing is you trashing band or whatever, you have a allotted time schedule that you're practicing with purpose for focused amount of time, but then you're also doing your schoolwork. and making sure you're balancing your life and enjoying. Like once you like, it's an extracurricular, right? And you enjoy it. And for us, like for me right now, this is my job to play Overwatch. But still making sure that you're finding time to like enjoy other things and other aspects of life, because the way I like to view things is Overwatch is my platform, not my purpose. Even though it brings me a lot of meaning in my life and like I'm very passionate about it, it's what I'm going to use to like excel and put myself forward. But it's not like my purpose in life, right? So that's one thing to remember. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is like scheduling and making sure you're using your time wisely and you're playing with a purpose. Like always practicing with a purpose, making sure you're getting enough sleep, all of that stuff. Like treat it like you're an athlete. If you want to be an athlete, if you want to be a collegiate athlete, if you want to go pro, like treat it like an athlete would treat their normal thing. And I feel like that level, that respect for esports as a whole, it's not there yet, but that's the future. And eventually it's going to, when the highest level of competition are being the best humans. So my goal right now is to be the best human I can be in order to participate in Overwatch the best. Right. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say for like as far as gameplay goes, like I think it's really important to like have fun with it and make sure you enjoy doing it, because one thing I've kind of learned like competing is that like no matter how good you are at the game, like there's always going to be someone's similar skill level that's more passionate. So if you don't have the passion for the game, it's really going to affect your performance. So find something you have fun with, find something you're passionate about, and it'll be really easy to take it to the next level if you're passionate about it.